Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Thursday, April 27th, 2017. Let's take a look at the three big earnings today. We have Amazon, we have Alphabet, and we have Microsoft. I want to discuss my projections on them, go over the charts, discuss the technicals of the chart, and what it tells us about earnings. Well, first off, I'm basically seeing Amazon rallying $11.60 or so today, give or take. You can see here's the daily chart popping up here. Now, the key that I'm watching is where it closes, because this pivot high right here, this was a little bit of a reversal day, right? So a reversal topping tail put in a multi-period top on the stock. Now, what you're looking for on today's action is, do we close above or below that? The reason why that's important is because this is a topping signal. So the only way you negate it is by closing above it for the day. So basically what I'm saying to you is, if by chance Amazon closes above it, I would be bullish on earnings. It's a very strong move. Obviously, institutions are playing ball here, and they may know something, and that tells us, again, that the upside chance of likelihoodness or whatever is pretty optimal. It's high on the radar that they will beat earnings and the stock will go up. Now, if it closes below, then that top is still in place, and investors should look at that and say, okay, if the top is still in place, then you favor the downside on the chart. All right, does everyone understand that? It is pretty simple. So basically, you're just looking to see if you close above or below approximately 924 today. Right now, you're below. If it closes here, I'd be negative on earnings. All right, if it closes above, I'd be positive, although I have to say with the rally today, probably takes a little bit of steam out of the earnings, but nonetheless, let's watch and see. Next up, let's take a look at Google, G-O-O-G-L. Well, it's now called Alphabet. Alphabet consolidating the last 2 days after a big move. Just in the last week or two, the stock has gone from about $8.35 to a high today of $9.92. That's a very substantial move up into earnings, so that takes a little bit of steam out of the earnings move. A couple things that you can look at here, folks. If you zoom out on the chart, you can clearly see that you're actually up into some resistance here. So again, if you look at this, and I mean, let's just look at this, right? So pivot high, pivot high, pivot high, and then kiss this pivot high. Notice how every time you hit it, boom, you fall. Then you come up here, hit it, boom, fall. Then you kiss it, fall. So what that tells me, that alludes to the aspect that the odds favor a pullback on earnings, right, folks? Because, again, you're hitting this line, and if history repeats itself, you're going to see a sharp pullback on earnings, all right? We're looking at maybe $25 to $50 drop on earnings today on Google. All right, now listen, there's no guarantees with earnings. I want to make that clear. All we're doing is looking at odds. All right, and by the way, I am short Amazon, but I am not short Alphabet here. I just don't want to take the risk into earnings on it. But again, I say that because I want to let you know that just because you're seeing a chart that most likely the odds favor at 65%, it's not 99% chance. I mean, there's no 100% in this game. So keep that in the back of your mind, folks. But again, I do favor the downside. If I had to take a position, I would absolutely be taking a short position on Alphabet here. Lastly, let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft, again, just in recent days has popped up with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, by the way, has had just a tremendous run, the NASDAQ 100. Again, NASDAQ is above 6,000, which it has never been before. And again, this pop up, after such a long period, to me, it looks like the stock is overbought, especially with the recent move up, factoring in better than expected earnings. And again, all you can do here is just look at pivot lines, right? So again, if you take a line here and you connect it through this point from here, that's a nice little pivot. Then if you look right here, you have a little bit of a level right there as well. You connect it from this pivot to this exact point, and you have resistance. So basically what I'm saying is when you connect those multiple lines, you're getting resistance lines. That's why the stock is stalling there. And again, that tells me that, again, odds do favor a pullback on earnings. All right, again, how big? I don't think Microsoft, in all fairness, Microsoft is not, it's probably one of the smaller movers expected. I would say maybe down 50 cents to $1 on earnings, maybe pulling back to this gap fill right here, which would be around 66.50. That would only be a little over $1 drop on earnings. But again, Microsoft, as you can see, I mean, look at the Microsoft price action. Very minimal. It doesn't move like Google. It doesn't move like Amazon. It's not the type to move in that way. But again, I would say I would favor the downside on this, but just for a small move, nothing's too substantial. And again, that's the analysis there. So it's going to be interesting, folks. There is no doubt about it. This is going to keep us on our toes. These are the three biggest companies combined that are going to be reporting during earnings season. All right, again, you'll have Apple next week. You'll have Facebook on a different day next week. Individually, those are big companies, but when you look at companies together in the tech sector reporting on the same day at the same time, this is the golden spot. I mean, this is going to be amazing. This is probably either going, and we can go to the QQQ here, this is either going to drive the Qs to even new highs, or it's going to cause a pretty substantial pullback. And again, looking at the Qs chart, which obviously is the NASDAQ 100, which those stocks are a part of, it tells me that, again, you're basically saying here that the market overall is looking to be overbought short term. You could see from the rally, when we were down here, you've basically rallied up, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 days or so, 8 days. That's a pretty substantial move up. If you take this low right here, you were at 130 and change, and you're basically at the highs today nearing 136 just in about a week and a half's time. So that's a very substantial move in a market that is relatively overbought, especially if you zoom out and just look at where it's come from. I mean, just going back to 2016 mid-year. So this is not even going back a full year, but almost a full year. The NASDAQ QQQ was trading at 101 and change. I mean, that's basically a 35% move. 35% move in a year on the QQQ. Amazing. All right, bottom line is, folks, let's see how things go. I'm going to keep an eye on Amazon as a level there. Watch that topping little pivot high there, which was, again, if we jump back to that chart, it was right around the 824, 825 level right here. So, again, keep an eye on that. And, again, we're just a few points away from that, so it could go either way. Definitely going to be a game-time decision. All right, guys, take care. I got to get back to trading. Come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com. There's a 7-day free trial. Get involved. Make money with the pros. We're here for you. Take care.